certain things that we can do, including certain foods that we should eat and perhaps even some foods that we should avoid in order to enhance our brain function.
Welcome back to Biohacking Insights. Dr. Huberman is constantly bombarded with questions about brain food. We all want to know the magic formula for peak brain power, don't we? Focus, memory, and overall cognitive health. Who wouldn't want to optimize those? And the fear of losing our mental edge or succumbing to memory problems is a real concern. So what exactly should we be feeding our gray matter to keep it sharp? Let's find out.
So what are the things that directly impact brain health, and what are the foods that we can eat that will support brain health?
Tons of high-quality research points to specific things we can do to boost brain power, according to Huberman, including certain foods to add to our plates and maybe a few to ditch. But before we get into it, we need to know about two essential building blocks of a healthy brain, because without them, your brain will deteriorate.
So, in general, there are two categories of things that are going to improve brain health from the perspective of nutrition. The first category is the general category of things that we eat and avoid and things that we do and avoid doing that will modulate brain health and function.
Now, by brain, Huberman clarifies he really means the whole nervous system. After all, remembering things and moving around smoothly doesn't just depend on the brain cells upstairs. It also involves our spinal cord and the nerve connections to our organs. There are two main categories that affect brain health through food, says Huberman. The first is the big picture stuff, things we eat or avoid, habits we pick up or ditch that all play a role in keeping our brains happy and healthy. Think quality sleep, strong social connections, and even battling depression. These are all crucial for overall health. But they work more indirectly, like setting a stage for a great performance. Sleep, for instance, has some direct benefits for brain repair and function. So regular good quality sleep is the cornerstone of both mental and physical health, period. If you're not sleeping well, your brain will suffer. Focus will fizzle, learning will lag. And another thing is cardiovascular health and exercise. And we need to do at least 150 to 180 minutes of cardio each week. And resistance training is a great bonus too. Now that we've covered these two crucial building blocks, let's get into foods that can directly impact brain health. When we think brain function, we often jump to fuel. The fact that neurons run on glucose, blood sugar, and sometimes ketones. But before we even get to fuel, Huberman emphasizes we need to talk about the building blocks that keep those neurons healthy in the first place. And that brings us to what Huberman argues is the most important food element for brain function: fat. Now hold on, before you say greasy fries, let's see what he means. According to Huberman, a significant part of the brain structure and the health of its overall nerve cells actually comes from fat. Nerve cells and other brain cells have an outer layer, kind of like a double-walled balloon. This boundary is important because it controls how things pass in and out of the cell, which in turn affects how neurons fire, communicate, and keep you thinking, moving, and doing all the amazing things your brain allows you to do. These membranes are made of fat, but not the kind you find around your belly or other organs. They're special structural fats, and keeping them healthy is a big part of maintaining overall brain health. In other words, the food we eat literally provide the building blocks for the very neutrons that allow us to think.
So what type of fat is it, and what should we eat in order to support that fat and those neurons? And the answer is the so-called essential fatty acids and phospholipids.
Now, these terms might sound fancy, but they basically mean the same thing. Like most of us get enough omega-6s in our diet, but the omega-3s, those are the ones missing in action for most people, and they're crucial for healthy brain function both now and down the line. You might need to increase your omega-3 intake like 1 to 3 grams daily because omega-3s, especially EPA, improve mood and cognitive function, like antidepressants without the side effects. So how can we get more of these brain-boosting essentials? Fish oil supplements are a popular option, whether liquid or capsule form. Krill oil is another choice for those who can't or don't want to take fish oil, and algae-based options are also available. But the good news is you can get a lot of EPA straight from your diet too. And unsurprisingly, these foods are packed with other brain-healthy goodies as well. Now let's talk about some omega-3 superstars you should be adding to your plate. Ideally daily: mackerel, salmon, herring, oysters, sardines, and anchovies. And the undisputed heavyweight champion when it comes to EPA per serving is caviar. Now, caviar might not be on everyone's menu, but that's why supplements are an option. Still, there are plenty of other delicious choices out there. Chia seeds, walnuts, and soybeans are all plant-based sources of EPA. So the point is clear. There are tons of ways to get your daily dose of EPA.
These weren't huge effects, but they were statistically significant effects. And as well, in more than 3, at least 5 studies to reduce cognitive decline.
Whether you find these foods mouthwatering, meh, or somewhere in between, adding them into your diet or supplementing to reach 1.5 grams, ideally up to 2 or 3 grams of EPA daily, can be a game changer for your cognitive function, both today and for years to come.
After EPA, fatty acids, and phosphatidylserine, I would say third on the list of things that come from food that can readily support brain function would be choline.
Huberman puts choline on the podium as number 3 for brain-boosting nutrients you can get from food. Choline is like the key ingredient in the recipe for acetylcholine, a super important focus messenger molecule in the brain. Having enough choline to make enough acetylcholine is key for good focus. So how much choline you have can affect your focus and alertness. And how do we get more of this brain power booster? Eggs, especially the yolks, are a champion source of choline. This makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint. We think of hunters gathering meat, but we also fished and ate a lot of eggs. Eggs are a nutritional powerhouse for the brain because they contain everything a chick embryo needs to grow inside the shell. That yolk is full of brain-building nutrients. Eggs are the king of choline, but there are other options. Some people take choline supplements, but food sources seem to be better absorbed. There are plenty of plant-based choline options too. If you're not a big egg fan, don't worry. Potatoes, nuts, seeds, grains, and even fruits all contain some choline. You can find information online about the choline content of different foods and make sure you're getting enough. Most people should aim somewhere between 500 milligrams and a gram of choline per day. Some people supplement to reach these levels, especially if they don't eat a lot of eggs or other choline-rich foods. So that's the game. 3 brain-supporting superstars: EPA, omega-3 fatty acids, phosphatidylserine, and choline. But remember, these work best alongside proper hydration and electrolytes. Your brain is mostly water after all, and it needs these electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and magnesium to function properly. These are the building blocks that allow neutrons to fire up and talk to each other, keeping your brain sharp and on point. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any of our transformative content. In our next video, we will get into the surprising science behind relying on stimulants with brain expert Andrew Huberman. Get ready to learn the truth about that afternoon pick-me-up. Could it be secretly sabotaging your focus and memory? Tune in to find out.